Thanks so much for joining us. We are here today for the Arts Are the Answer component of Your Town. And I am so excited to be here today with Marty Manson and Mary Hill. Our theme today is the artist's life. What is it like to be an artist? What is it like to be an artist in Monterey County? Well, if you're an artist in Monterey County nowadays, particularly a visual artist, you have great support through Arts Habitat and their production of Monterey County Artists Open Studio Tour. So we're going to talk all about that with Marty and Mary. And Marty, thanks so much for being here. And Mary, it's just always great to have you here as well. Marty, can we start with you on when is just a little bit, tiny bit about what the details are. We know it's the 28th annual, which is pretty amazing all by itself. But let's just paint a little overview of the tour itself, what it's all about.
Well, the Monterey County Artists Open Studio Tour is truly county-wide. It's an opportunity for people to go to the studio where artists work, meet the artists, see their work, buy work. All of those things are possible. And it goes for 2 weekends. The last weekend in September, which is the 29th and 30th, and the first weekend in October, which is the 6th and 7th. The first weekend is really focused on the county, on the coast and Carmel Valley, and the second weekend is focused more on the Salinas Valley. But a lot of artists have chosen to be open both weekends. So you have 4 days to visit many of the artists on the tour.
So, Mary, let's talk about you. I know you're on the committee, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Arts Habitat and how Arts Habitat makes all this possible and organizes all these people and all these artists and all this moving around the county. But from your perspective as an artist, what is the best thing about the tour?
Well, it allows me to sell my work, which is pretty darn exciting. It also encourages me when people come into my home, my studio, their comments about my art and what I do encourages me to continue on.
That's wonderful.
In the last couple of years, I'm mainly a photographer, and that's the art that I have presented. But based on some encouragement, I have started drawing again, which is a very rusty old skill. But I presented it last year in my studio tour and had great feedback. So and I've met wonderful people.
So what's it like for you? So how early in the year do you have to start planning for all of this?
Ooh, at the end of the last studio tour.
Oh, is that true? Really? So it's a year-long process.
It's a year-long process.
So you start to pull things and move things and say, okay,
well, new images and new drawings. I do get to travel, which I'm very grateful for, but capturing those moments and being able to present it to an audience, and this is a great audience. I'm very appreciative. And the publicity that comes with being an artist on the studio tour is enormous.
Wonderful. So people will say, even people who don't make it, will say that they saw you, they saw the catalog, they saw something.
I have people come into my house that didn't know what's going on.
They saw the signs.
Because of the signage.
Oh, what is this?
Yeah, exactly.
That's always a fun question. What is this? That's wonderful. That's really great. So for your experience, so you have never felt it as any kind of an imposition? Because I know even though we can have the catalog, we can have this, and we know it's open, and we see the sign, still I think the public has a little bit of trepidation, like, am I really welcome here? Is this really okay? Where do I go? What do I do? What do I say?
Well, an open door. My little studio has Dutch doors, so the door is open, the sign's out front, Arts Habitat has, like I say, incredible signage for the artist.
Yes, it's beautiful.
With, big, colorful signs,
yes,
as you'll see from our catalog. It's eye-catching. And, on our signage at different corners, we have eras.
I appreciate those areas
okay,
going around the county, I have to say.
As opposed to having a big neon sign that goes this way. It is like a big neon sign.
Oh, it is great.
Come visit me.
It's really, really great. So that is our welcome in, right? Even before we get to your door, we see you in the catalog. We see the sign. You as an artist are preparing, and my understanding is that the Arts Habitat actually has a workshop or something. Is that right, for the participating
which
artists?
is wonderful.
What
we
happens
have
there?
We've got, actually it's a little overwhelming, but there are 70 locations this year with over 80, and it's probably close to 100 artists.
Isn't that amazing? That's
Okay.
awesome. Yeah.
There are several individual studios where there are more than one artist. And then the Carl Cherry Center for the Arts is a location that has several artists in one place.
Okay.
Hidden Valley, Porterhouse Ranch,
Wonderful.
and Artworks, which is an arm of the Artist Council, okay, which is over in the American Tin Cannery. So
it's a lot. It's a lot to take in for sure. But
workshop.
Yes. Yes. All right. So
this
how
year
do
we have
artists get
several.
you're
We have
training,
several new artists this year, but a lot of returning. But we always have a workshop.
That's amazing.
The middle of August for all the artists, where we give them tips about their signage and guest books, etc. And we are allowing the Monterey Museum of Art and their La Mirada, which has been designated as their education center this year, to have our workshop there,
That's
which is
brilliant.
pretty
That's
wonderful.
So phenomenal. And that's also a great venue, by the way. So, Marty, that's a great segue to you and your role in this whole operation. Can you talk about how the whole system functions, how it's grown over especially the last couple of years, and how the board really manages all of this?
Well, I'm the president of the Arts Habitat Board, so I'm sort of the leader of the troops.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say the troops lead themselves really well. What we were fortunate to have was a committee that was prepared to work on this project. So it's a committee of the board. Mary, of course, is one of our members. And we have an Arts Habitat staff member, our administrator, Charmaine Jones, who is fabulous and is the main contact person for most of the artists. And it's much easier now that we've been doing this for 3 years, but it does take effort, concentration, getting the word out, encouraging artists to sign up, because they do pay a fee to participate. That helps us pay for the publicity and the catalog and the rest of it. All of them, as individuals, have questions, and every question has to be answered. And every one of them is represented in the catalog somewhere. So each entry has to be reviewed and edited and made coherent so that people have the same information everywhere. So the committee works with Charmaine on all of that. We help edit and contact our contacts to let them know now is the time. Really, now, send it now. Then there is a Facebook page, which also has small articles on each artist who's participating and the organizations as well. We do a series of lecture evenings beforehand. This year, we hope to do 3. We know we're doing 2.
Those are open to the public lectures?
They're open to the public and they're free.
Oh, nice.
The first one is at Open Ground Studio, which is in Seaside. And actually, it'll be presenting another artist's effort, Playful Ground.
Oh, great.
To talk about what goes on there. But each of those places are artist-run programs that support visual artists of one type or another in the community, sometimes beginners, sometimes very advanced professionals. The second one will be at the Cherry Foundation, and the daughter of a very well-known painter, Roland Pickford, will be talking about her relationship as the daughter of an artist. So it's an opportunity to come and listen to Melissa and learn a little bit more about her father's very interesting, and in his time he was a very well-known artist.
Yeah, no, just really exquisite.
Yeah, and still known here. I mean, if
absolutely,
certainly he's still recognized for the fine work he's done. So we'll do both of those. It gives us a chance to introduce some of the people who are participating in the tour and kind of warm things up.
Yeah.
And then there's the, we do an opening party, which we call the gala.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, it's really fun. And it's free, it's open to the public, and it is right before the tour, so that you can go to the Seaside Gallery, which is the Walter Avery Gallery that's part of Seaside City Hall. And
it's nice and big.
It's big. It's a fun place to have an opening. Every artist is invited to submit a work.
Yeah.
And if you're the kind of person who likes to decide what you're doing in advance, you can take your catalog, which you will have gotten in the Coast Weekly or the Pine Cone, to the gallery and go through and check the works by artists you're particularly interested in.
Now, you've been doing this a while, so you call it the Coast Weekly, but it's the Monterey County Weekly, right?
That's right. It's the Monterey County. Well, that just shows you how long I've been here.
Well, it shows you how long I've been here, because I knew.
I'm glad you knew.
But maybe others might not.
Yeah.
So that's really, really, really exciting. There's so much energy, so much vitality that you're bringing, and connecting the artists and connecting the community. And that is such a wonderful blessing to absolutely everybody here. And so let's talk about some of the artists that you've selected. So you had a jury, you had people.
Actually, we don't jury. We ask artists to participate. So there are certainly counties that do it differently, but we invite people to participate, and we don't have a selection process.
Well, the catalog you have, I mean, all the work, every single page is just, for me, I just want to see everything. So somehow it worked anyways. That the quality is really all there.
Interesting to me that I was told when we first started working on this that, oh well, you'll get the people who do things that aren't really art. And it hasn't turned out that way at all.
Yeah.
It's completely different from that. So it's well worth people's time to go and look, and it's fun.
There is a really nice broad array of styles and techniques and everything represented, right, Mary? So
well, it's photography, it's watercolor, it's oil, it's sculpture. You know, there's some incredible sculptors on this tour, and drawing, and so the range and variety of art is huge, as well as the style, abstract, realism, etc.
That's really one thing that really jumps out at me, is all these different kinds. There's the glass artist here, Kathleen Little, and mixed media, Meredith Stricker, and then you have some landscapes and seascapes and whatnot. But there's also a lot of different kinds of things. They're so fun. And I'm also seeing a different range of people. So there's some young people who are emerging artists, and then there's also people who it seems to me like they probably participate to be part of the community. It's not that they need help with their sales or something like that. They don't need publicity. They just want to be a part of this awesome thing.
Someone that I would like to mention is Peggy Olson.
Oh, Peggy, yes.
Who this year is our cover artist.
Oh, yeah.
And Peggy, I'm not going to tell how old she is, but she is an incredible artist, and definitely a studio that you will want to visit, as well as she's a gem.
I had the chance a couple of years ago, and it's really exquisite. The other thing that's awesome is that whole notion that you have these artists who are in North County, South County, they're at East Garrison, they're all over the place. And I know for me that has been such an exciting part of the whole experience. And also, I think that's one of the things that you can share with people, that this is a really great thing to bring people who don't consider themselves artsy or whatever word they use for that. They don't yet identify themselves as being knowledgeable. And they may be feeling kind of intimidated, like we were talking about, even though there's a sign, there's a catalog. Oh, is it really okay? This is something, and everywhere they go, where they can not only enjoy connecting with the artist and seeing the art, but they can also just enjoy that Saturday drive, the Sunday drive, whatever they do, getting from place to place. They can really appreciate the context that we get to live in here, and to see fantastic art. Like I'm looking at Andrea McCann and her paintings and relief prints, and she's just so amazing. I got jewelry last year from Lily Campos, going to the vineyards. And so if you want to do it that way, you can go get a glass of wine somewhere and along the way, or even at some of these places. And in any case, it's all so awesome. And I'm seeing Laurie Tholen, is it? Metal art jewelry. There's just so many different ways somebody can do this. So we just have under 2 minutes left. What's the one thing that you would like to make sure people take away from our conversation today? This
is a great community event. It's free. It's actually really fun. I find it endlessly entertaining. Yeah. And I always expect that I know every artist on the tour, and so I'm just being a friend and going to visit. Well, it doesn't work that way. There are many people I've never met before. I always come home with something new for the collection. It's great. Yeah. The jewelry is good. The range is terrific. It's really fun. So I highly recommend it. Do it because it's fun. Go to the River Road wineries. Yeah. Have a glass of wine.
I'm seeing Puma Road
Look at some art.
Winery, Paraiso
We have
Vineyards.
4.
Yeah, there
Han.
are 4.
Ordinata.
And Han.
And Han. You guys have done a great job in pulling everybody together. Mary, you get the last word. What is it?
And the last word is see art where it starts. That's our mission.
Oh, phenomenal. And all the other details you can get on their website. Marty, what is the website?
It's artshabitat.org.
Artshabitat.org. Super easy peasy, and you can find everything that you need there. And whatever else you don't see there, you're going to see at the studios. Thank you. Thank you for being with us today.
Our
Thank
pleasure.
you, Paulette.